Hey guys, come with me to hike the Three Capes track in Tasmania. The Three Capes track is a beautiful, accessible and highly scenic multi-day coastal walk located in Tasman National Park in southeast Tasmania. The track officially runs 48 kilometres, with hikers starting from Port Arthur Historic Site, catching a boat across the water to Denman's Cove, hiking two of the area's three capes, and finishing in Fortescue Bay. The trail is designed to a dry boot standard, with incredible timber and gravel pathways and beautiful bush cabins, making the experience one that is comfortably achievable for most ages and abilities. It is worth noting, however, that this experience does come with a $600 plus price tag per adult for a hiking permit. The adventure I'll be taking you on today, however, is a little different. I will be completing the appropriately named Free Capes Track alternative, carrying my own gear and camping along the trail. I'll also then be getting out on the water below the sea cliffs as to not miss out on this part of the experience, glamping in Port Arthur, and hiking out on a day trip to complete the third and final cape of the Three Capes. So let's jump into it. Day 1 starts making my way to Fortescue Bay. Access is by dirt road, but is usually pretty good even in wet conditions. Rain or shine, there's always the sweetest wildlife here, so that's definitely a little bonus. From here, after the wet start, I planned to park up and head out on foot for the next few days to join the Three Capes official track by walking out towards Cape Pillar along the trail marked to Bear Knoll campsite. This leads off right near the Rangers station. It's pretty quick and really well maintained, with sections of timber boardwalk. You won't unfortunately have ocean views like you would starting from Port Arthur, but I found this inland section to be quite pretty anyway as the sun poked through. Walking this way, you will hit a track junction with the official Cape to Cape track. I continued straight ahead to Cape Pillar, but if you were day walking in a circuit, you may also choose to turn left and head back to Fortescue Bay along the cliffs. It is important to note here though that the Cape to Cape can only be walked in an anti-clockwise direction to stop plant disease spread, so you won't be able to turn right and head out on the section of trail that would make up day 1 for walkers starting from Port Arthur. Continuing on, it doesn't take long to reach the Bear Knoll campground with big raised wooden platforms to pitch a tent. This is a first come, first served type campground with no current booking system, but as you can see, for a winter walk was pretty empty, so I wasn't really in any competition for platforms. Okay, I'm all set up. I thought it would take me way longer to get out here, so here is the tent tour. Of all my nights hiking and camping, I think this is the first time I've actually ever set up on a platform, so I have set up with the chains, but it took me a minute to work out. So I've got my North Face Stormbreak 1 tent, Jetboil obviously. I've gone with my sleeping bag. It's -9 because it's absolutely freezing out here. This is the Cedar Summit Women's down sleeping bag, and also their ether light mat, which should be nice and cozy. I've got my backpack. It is the 55 litre North Face women's backpack, and that will be my setup for the night. After a quiet night under the trees, today I head out to Cape Pillar. Starting the morning by backtracking out of the campground, then passing by the beautiful Cape to Cape walkers cabin for this section of the track. It really is a lovely spot, and I can definitely understand the appeal for anyone walking the trail that way to enjoy the extra comforts and not have to carry the likes of a tent or mat. Likewise for myself, today I have left the tent pitched in camp, so had the luxury of simply carrying a day pack with a water bottle and snacks. Today's walk is out and back along the same trail leading to the end of Cape Pillar. It's a very easy day and definitely could have been fitted into day one with an earlier start, but is also a magic spot to take it slow and enjoy the coastal cliffs and scenery. The bird life is amazing, the trail is amazing, and the views are even better. The weather, like Tasmania in general, can be pretty hit and miss out here, so I'd take something warm and some rain layers just in case. Reaching the end of Cape Pillar, you can look out to sea at Tasman Island with its impressive sheer sides and sea cliffs. There are vantage points most of the way, but probably most impressively to me, overlooking the island and back along the peninsula from the top of the Blade. From the Seal Lookout, and then the trail's end. Finishing the trail, you do then simply return the same way. I believe there used to be a second campsite out here, however it was closed down after storm damage, so camping is now restricted simply to bare Knoll, which is where I returned for an early night too. Dinner, snacks and a cozy sleep for the night. Waking up to rain on day 3, I had yet another late start and really took advantage of the short walking days that this trail offers to just be able to sleep in and wait out the weather. All packed up, I do now though need to head back towards the track junction and continue on to complete the circuit. There is another incredible cabin here, and I must say I was a little jealous in the wet, chilly weather. The trail is a mix of forest and ocean views today as you move uphill to pass over the top to Mount Fortescue. And look out from stunning vantage points at the unique cliff formations. The second of the 3 capes is then tackled today on a turn-off to Cape Hauy track. There's a great spot to leave packs here, so I made the most of it as a lunch stop before heading off again with just a day pack. This section I had actually done a couple of times before as day walks, but does have some pretty spectacular views, so I was more than happy to just jump back out there. It might seem like you're walking a fair way out just to return, but I promise the views at the end are so worthwhile. I will also note that this section has a lot of stairs, and for every one you walk down, you obviously have to walk back up. So make sure to leave yourself enough time at the end if you are planning on doing the official 3 capes and getting picked up by the Cape to Cape Walkers bus at the end. Grabbing my pack once more, there is a pretty straightforward track to simply return to Fortescue Bay, where I had left my car and intended to spend the night camping by the water. After completing the Free Capes track, the next adventure logically for me was to get out on the water. I was a little disappointed originally to have missed that opportunity to be a part of the 3 Capes experience, so booked a Tasman Island boat tour instead. This leaves from Port Arthur and runs from Pirates Bay down to Tasman Island, passing by landmarks like the Blowhole, Tasman Arch, Cape Hauy, the Totem Pole, and a number of seal colonies. Tasman Island itself was quite a highlight for me, and what I imagine could easily be overlooked when travelling Tasmania without physically getting out here. Again, the weather was a little bit wild, but incredible to now look up at the cliffs where I had just walked and just take in this different perspective. Ending a wet and wild day, I also wanted a way to experience the luxury aspect of the Three Capes experience after having carried my own gear and tent. For me, this looked like glamping and was something I have always wanted to do but never really had a reason to. I opted for the glamping tents in Port Arthur Holiday Park for a fraction of the price of the track permit and had a lovely time here with all the friendly wildlife. Day 5 and my final day, I drove out to Cape Raoul. This is now on the southwest side of Port Arthur, and whilst not officially part of the Three Capes track, it is the third and final cape for which the trail is named, so of course I wanted to see this one for myself. It is an out and back trail, similarly with good easy to follow path and many lookout points. After rain, it was a little slippery, but also a whole lot of fun, leading down to the edge of more dolerite cliffs, each similar to the previous capes, but also quite pretty and unique, in my opinion, making them quite well worth seeing. To and from the lookout, it's not a particularly long track, making it perfect to now tick off as a day walk, and for me to finally end my trip. Whilst I would highly recommend the official Cape to Cape experience and would love to experience it that way one day for myself, I do hope that you have enjoyed my version and experience of this incredible area, and I already can't wait to get back out there on the next trails. See you then.